Hi, it's Susan. Welcome back to my channel. Surprise, surprise, another video so soon from me. I know I'm trying to get better. I would like to get up to doing maybe 2 to 3 videos a week. I'm not sure if that's possible. Hats off to those people that are posting videos every day or every other day. I don't know how they do it. I'm a very slow maker of things. But anyways, here I am today, and thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day to spend some time with me. A friend asked me about playing with alcohol inks, and so I thought I needed some for the current journal in process. I needed some pages done with alcohol inks, so I thought I would come on and do a little play and talk about how I do them. And first off, with a disclaimer, I am so much a beginner with alcohol inks. I mean, I just literally, I am playing and I'm liking some of the things that I get and I'm using them, and I'm not liking some of the things I get and I tear them up and do other things with them. A few disclaimers to start. Alcohol inks have a really strong smell, and when you put them with the heavy duty alcohol that you're supposed to use with them, you can really get a lot of the fumes. It can give you a headache, make you sick, what have you. So use ventilation, use caution. Do not breathe the fumes in directly for too long if you can help it. You're going to hear some outside noises because I have doors and windows open, and I can't do too many of them at one time. I have to take breaks, so I might like pause a video and come back again. Anyway, here's some that I have done, and the video, I guess the last video that I shared something with was one of my Juicy Jumbo journals. Love Better is What is Best, and I made these little booklets and I cover them with parchment paper that has had some alcohol ink work done on them. And then I like that you can kind of see through. Let's see, do I have one that's parchment? You can kind of see through depending on what kind of alcohol, how much of things you've done and whether you've dispersed it very well. But I like the sound that the parchment paper gives. But really the best thing to use is, I understand, Yupo paper, the back of photo paper, which I haven't tried yet, and tracing paper. And I really like tracing paper. This is something I've done with tracing paper, and you can see a lot through it. And so what I like to do is make a little booklet, which I don't have. They're all gone right now. And you can put a picture or a poem or something behind that, and people can tell there's something in there, but they can't see it directly until they open the booklet. So this is on tracing paper. This would be on parchment paper. This one was when I had a little bit more control on tracing paper. Some things you can do with the alcohol inks is, let's see, that's not a good example. Here's a good example. You can do leaf impressions. So I have, done leaf impressions. This just happened to be a piece of parchment paper that was left from something else I was doing outside. So I just plunked a couple leaves down, and you can get some impressions with them. Might have done better on tracing paper. This is another one with tracing paper and tracing paper. So I need some in a couple different colors, which is what I'm going to play with today. And I'm going to play with tracing paper. I did do one earlier with parchment paper. It's still drying. Well, it's almost all dry because, boy, that stuff dries fast. And it didn't come out exactly like what I wanted, but I'll find a use for it, and I'll flatten it out some more. But let's see. What do you need? I need something to move the ink around with. A lot of people use straws. I don't use straws because I get really lightheaded. It puts me too close to the ink. So I use this. It is, let's see if I hold the right side up. Giotto. This is for blowing the dirt and dust out of your camera, and they call it a rocket something, or an air rocket. I think that's what it was, is an air rocket. But it works really well to move stuff around with the alcohol inks. And you're going to need some of the strong alcohol, the higher percentage alcohol. I've got some in a little dropper bottle, and then your inks. And again, let me put out the disclaimer. This is just me playing. I am not anywhere near an expert with alcohol inks. I just like the transparency of them and the permanence of them, unlike watercolors, so that I can use them for things that are going to get handled an awful lot. And it's just kind of a fun thing to play with. And that's what art's supposed to be, right? Just a lot of fun. So usually what happens with me is I get something I absolutely hate, and then the more I play with it, the more I start to like it. So I do want something with some shades of blue. So I'm just going to start putting some things down, and I'm going to take my little blower thing. I put the tracing paper, I cut it to fit one of my cookie sheets, my wonderful little dollar store cookie sheets. I get a lot of use out of these things because that way it protects my surface, and I can also then move things around for drips, which you'll see here in a second. Whoops. So let's add some alcohol. And of course you can see how you get these wonderful little, so if you're really patient, you can do one of those things with the circles, and I keep thinking I'm going to do that and I'm going to trace around it, but my list of things that I want to work on is so long. And I do like that effect, but then you can also move it around this way. And it's blobs. It doesn't look like much of anything, and I have to decide ahead of time. Earlier I used a color I didn't mean to. I need to move this current out of the way. I really just want to use, this is mushroom. I only have 2 blues, so I'm going to have to get creative. Hardest thing for me is usually to get it to the edges of the pages. So this isn't the equivalent of watching paint dry, but it's probably pretty darn close. I think the magic happens when the 2 different colors start to join together. And I'm just sort of playing mad scientist when I do this. If you have played with alcohol inks before and you have a video that you really like of some of the stuff that you've done with it, please post it down in the comments and I will add it to my alcohol inks playlist, where you can go check out a lot of people that have some amazing talent with things they can do. I've watched a couple gals, I can't remember their names right off the bat, but they are in the playlist. The flowers and the realistic artistic things that they do by blowing the ink around on a straw and drawing it. I don't have any toothpicks here, but they'll draw through the ink with toothpicks, and I'm just absolutely stunned at the things they create. I think I just don't have the patience to learn how to do some of that kind of stuff. I just like the moodiness that it gives. And on these little books of love, no, they're big books of love that I've been doing lately, I was trying to find some different ways that I could add some love poems. And I like the idea of putting them in little books of their own. Although the way this thing is starting to look, it's looking like maybe it wants to go in my beachy book, because I've got one of those coming up. I live near the beach, near Santa Cruz, California, and close enough to the beach that we can take a nice drive to go to the beach if we wanted to, but not so close that we have to deal with all the touristy stuff that you have to when you live in a beach town. So to me, it's the best of both possible worlds. We just have to worry about traffic in the summertime, tourist traffic, because they come over the nearby mountain to come see us. Well, not to come see us, but to go to the beach and to go to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And it's funny is that it's so close, but we don't go nearly as often as I might like to be near the water, because there's all those people, and I'm just a super introvert. Really happy being home with my husband and my dog, and my garden, and my art. I mean, really, isn't that all that life's about? At least it is for me right now. If I go out in public to socialize with people, I find that I need a long recovery time. And when I was doing a lot of public speaking, which I loved, I really enjoyed doing public speaking, but it took so much out of me since I'm such an introvert, and people that don't really understand that introverts gain their energy by being quiet, by having that quiet time at home to recharge the batteries. So if I was going on a gig where I was speaking for 3 or 4 days straight, it was just emotionally exhausting to me. I just got completely drained, and people are like, well, it's not like you're doing anything physical, you're just standing up there talking for an hour at a time. But it's being on and being with all those people. That's why I really love the videos, because I can kind of work at my own pace, and when I'm at a high energy level, I can do a few videos and have them ready and waiting, and then when my energy is low, I can upload them. But if I'm feeling low, I don't have to create videos. My paycheck isn't dependent upon me doing these, doing talks anymore. So that's really nice. Okay, I should have stopped a little bit ago. I don't know. I always think that. First I think it starts off looking really hideous. Then I get to a point that I really kind of like it. And then I feel like I overdid it. So this corner down here has nothing. Get my little blower. And it's okay because, you know, it's just paper. Alcohol inks are not the cheapest thing to play around with. Use your coupons if you are lucky enough to live near a store that does has coupons. I don't live near a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or a Joann's, but sometimes I'll see a good online sale and I will grab them. Okay, this is looking kind of moody. I don't know if it'll go in the current journal or maybe I'll save it for the beach journal. Maybe we'll do just a few more drips of alcohol to get some movement. Yeah. I tell you, these rusty old cookie sheets from the dollar store are my go-to. Every time I go in there, they usually only have 3 or 4 on the shelves, and I buy them every time. I use them for my coffee and tea dyeing. Yeah, I should have stopped at just a couple circles too. Okay. Not thrilled with this one for what I was going for, but that's okay. That is okay. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. It does dry a lot lighter. I'm going to put that aside. Got one more prepared. I think 2 is probably about all I can handle. That would be Zoe saying hello to somebody walking by. 2 is about all I can handle in one shot for the smells. It's just really strong in here. I have the patio door to the studio open, but I can never resist doing something with green. Oh, I do love green. But I don't think I brought all my greens, so let's see what we're going to get. Maybe we'll get something a little bit lighter. The blue is kind of dark. Let's see what we can get here. Zoe just saw one of her favorite dogs in the neighborhood walk by, so she's all excited. Zoe is a white German Shepherd that we got from a rescue group. We try to always do rescue dogs because there are so many dogs out there waiting for a home. Hats off to all of you that do the same thing. I know there's a lot of you out there, and there's a lot of dog lovers, cat lovers, animal lovers of all kinds. I don't know, sometimes I wonder if we artists get our muse from our animals. Is that possible? I don't know. I used to do a lot of writing about, when I was writing full-time, I did a lot of writing about my dog. I've been trying to figure out how I can combine some of my old writing life with my new artsy life. Haven't figured out that solution yet, but maybe. Let's see. Add some more green, because this did not go green. This went orange yellow. Okay, so people on live streams, wow. How do you guys talk for so many hours randomly about nothing in particular? I can give me a topic to give you a speech on, and I can talk for 2 hours. But just randomly talking about things, I find that a little bit difficult. But that's also what I like best about some of my favorite YouTubers, because they tell me what's going on in their life, and I feel like I get to know them a little better. I should have protected I'm moving this because, maybe I just need to be more careful. I'm trying not to get the alcohol on the wood on top of my island here in the studio, although I've already done my initial damage to it. So it's like that new car thing, once you get the first ding. If you are a pro at alcohol inks, just pause, stop the video, leave right now. I'm sure you're cringing. I'm just playing because I want some colored pages to do something with. That is all I'm doing. I'm using too much of everything. Like I said, if you're a pro, move along. There's probably nothing you want to see here. All right. Too much alcohol, so it's going to take longer to, and too much ink, too much everything. It's going to take a while, but let's get this coated on the edges. Few cookie sheets that are just going to be devoted, I think, to the alcohol inks. Let me get my little blower guy. I forgot about him. That's a lot of stuff to remember when you're trying to record a video while you're doing something. Okay, Gail, I do not know how you do all those, and lots of others of you, but Gail's one that I've watched an awful lot of, and Wendy and Tracy, where you guys are actually teaching us how to do things and talking at the same time. Hats off, because boy, for me, this just feels like mass confusion. Oh, I don't know. We'll see what you guys think about the video. So I'm coming to the end of this one, really. I'm going to stop before I make it too much worse. See if I can get a little bit darker green in there and see what happens. But why don't you guys tell me in the comments, let's see, I want to end with a question of some kind. Tell me tell me either what kind of videos you like to make or what kind of videos you like to watch. And they don't necessarily have to be art videos. Maybe you like watching videos about people doing things in their garden. I mean, I know I'm posting videos about art, but I have other playlists that right now aren't out for public consumption. I have videos about California native plants. I have videos about dog training, because every time I get a new rescue dog, I have to learn something new. And then, of course, I have gazillions and gazillions of favorite art videos. So tell me, what kind of art videos do you like to watch, or what kind of videos do you like to watch, and what kind of videos do you like to make? And yeah, we made a mess. We need one more color in there, don't we? Maybe we can put a little bit of brown. Maybe that'll help. I hope you are laughing with me and not at me with this. I will come back on and show you what these look like once they're dry and once I make anything with them. Maybe. I don't know. They may be. Didn't I say I was going to stop, right? I said I was going to stop, and it's not working. Let's blow things around. Blow that brown around. Yeah. I don't like it when there's just blobs in the middle, and it's kind of hard. There's moisture underneath, so I can't tell what's color and what's not. But that will be the surprise, right? When everything's dry, that will be the big surprise. I might go back to that blue one and try and add something else. And you can do that. That's one of the nice things about the alcohol, is that once it dries, you can reactivate it if you so desire. Well, I think what I've got mostly is some solid color pages. Should I stop? Should I keep going? Should I add another color that has nothing to do with these? I'm going to lose some of my transparency, maybe. I'm trying to get to that corner. Can you see that corner that's got nothing on it? I'm trying to get to that corner without adding anything else. Let's see. Almost. Almost. Yeah, it needs a contrast. I don't have all my other inks out. I guess we'll just go back to the green and let's just try, see if we can, there we go. All right. Yeah. This is going to be one of those, I bet you, that gets cut up into pieces. And that's okay too. There are no rules, right? Is that the only rule? Is that there are no rules? Okay, so for Maureen, who said, how about what you do with those alcohol inks? Here you go. Here's how I play and never know whether it's going to turn out to be something that I might want to use or not. And I will let these dry and decide if I need, oh, there we go. We're getting some drips that are interesting. Decide if I want to do anything else with them or not. Okay, I'm back. They are not completely dry, but they are more dry than they were when I stopped filming before. And yeah, I did mess with them just a little bit more. This was the blue one, and I added some yellow, just a few drops of yellow, and then a few drops of alcohol. And I probably just had everything just way too wet, way too much ink on it to really do what I wanted it to, because the parts that I really like is where you get these lines where the different colors connect. So this is going to work out really, really well for the journal I'm working on now, because it's pretty transparent in spots. And I'll cut that in half and use it to make 2 little notebooks. And the other one that was mostly green, I added just a little bit of dark brown. And again, I've got some nice definitions and some good transparency. It's still pretty wet, but I did want to show you those. These are both on tracing paper, and then this was one I did off camera before I started this morning. And this one was on parchment paper, and it also came out, pretty nice. So there you have it, my playing with alcohol inks, which is so not a tutorial, but I hope you had fun. I hope you will give it a try. Nothing has to come out perfect the first 150,000 times we try it, right? It's just all about play, enjoying the journey, learning about colors, learning about how the different materials respond, and just trying something new just for the heck of it. And geez, I'm 60 years old and I finally figured out it's okay to do something just for the heck of doing it because it's fun. It took me long enough. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope to see you around with one of my next videos. I couldn't tell you what it was going to be. I've got 2 or 3 things going on right now. But if you're not already a subscriber, I do hope you will click the subscribe button so you can find out when my next video comes out. And let me know what you think of this video. And again, my question of the day today was telling me about what kind of videos you like to watch, and if you make videos, what kind of videos you like to make. Thanks so much for stopping by. See you next time. Bye for now.